I've got an 8-year-old daughter. She struggles a lot with anxiety, and especially around school and other people. She absconds from school very often. She also absconds from home. She'll climb fences, roofs. She will run out on a highway. This could be from school or just from when we're out and about in public places. So we really need more support around how to help her with that anxiety when we, or anywhere really, and keeping her safe, but also helping the teachers, which are here today, about how we get her into the classroom in the morning and try to settle her. She often gets unsettled when the aide leaves the room because she's only in the room for the first 2 hours of the day. She doesn't have funding for her own aid, that's just what the school provides her. So we come up with a system of crystal cards. Once she goes in the room, settles down, I'll give her a card, and then 5 cards equal a crystal, but that doesn't get us over the line every day. And I often get called by the school because she might have refusal with a task, or she won't join in with the kids. She has trouble with recess and lunchtime being unstructured, so we're trying to implement strategies, but we're just not there yet because it seems so severe. She's also on a lot of medication, has ADHD as well. So her meds got increased in December by her paediatrician when December was critical. She was running away constantly. She could have been hit by a car several times, which has been witnessed by school and local people, and had police out looking for her. She's on 60 milligrams of Lovan a day, 40 milligrams of Ritalin now, and 1 milligram of risperidone. That seems to be working a lot better than before, but it's not the answer. It's not the answer to the future as well, and considering her level of anxiety is massive.
Yeah. Unfortunately, those with ASD, one thing they're very good at is worrying. And when I talk to adults with Aspergers and say, what's your greatest challenge? It may not be social, it may not be sensory, it's how do I manage my anxiety? There's a book there that was on this book section called Been There, Done That, Try This, which was, we did a survey of over 300 ASPE adults. What are your biggest challenges in life? I think it was about 90% said managing anxiety. So it can be a lifelong problem. Your daughter has this very powerfully, and her reaction is of the fight, flight, or freeze, flight. She tries to escape. And as far as she's concerned, this environment is so bad and so painful for me, I've got to get out of here. And then the urgency means that emotion rules, logic goes out the window. She'll be smart enough to know that it's dangerous, but at the time, to get away from the anxiety is her overriding priority. Now, she's 8 years old. I think, yes, you're going through some very good programs. Medication may help, but it won't be the final solution. As she's 8, I would start working on a project on emotions. Now, if she has a teacher aide or a clinical psychologist, they may do this. And so we start with a project on feelings, and we start with, say, happiness. So we'll have a happiness thermometer, pictures of happy people. Where do they go? With the least happy, smiling, to very happy. Happy music, happy colours. What could you say to make someone happy? 0 to 10, how happy would they be? Music that represents it, pictures, etc. There's also the storybooks, Mr. Happy, Mr. Cheerful, and so on. And then once we've taught a game using that strategy, the next one we work on is relaxation. And so your daughter needs to learn how to relax. Now that includes yoga, meditation type activities.
We haven't had much success with that. Whenever the therapist will try and do activities based on emotions and feelings, she goes into avoidance or potentially a meltdown. So they haven't really progressed as far as what they would have liked.
Right. I would still say she definitely needs a program on emotions because she can't cope with them, and they are very strong, but she needs to know about them to eventually control them, because they're controlling her, she's not controlling them. We would still go through, if we can, the breathing, the relaxation, but we would talk about when you do that, when you're calmer, you're smarter, and it'll help you with concentration and those sorts of things. We were also looking at what I call the emotional toolbox to fix the feeling. And what anxiety does is give you energy. And part of her running away is she's got a huge amount of energy, which is what anxiety creates. And she's got to channel it, and sometimes it's into escape. So I would weave into her daily school program, and she's got a teacher aide, regular physical activity, which may be the opposite of relaxation, but it may be like a personal trainer, finding things that she can do at school that are good for physical activity, but say to her, it'll help your concentration. Other things that we will do is really to try and get her and other people to read the signals of when anxiety is increasing. Again, I don't have shares in Fitbit, but I do recommend them, because what she can then do is see the numbers of her heart rate to know how anxious she is. And then when it reaches a certain point, a variety of strategies to reduce that anxiety. Now, I've written a program called Exploring Anxiety, which I think Lorraine would have had there. It's for 8 years to about 14, 15-year-old kids. And it's a workbook you fill in about a whole range of things on that. But it's how she may be aware, and you may need to have to tell her and say, when you say these words, it means you're anxious. On your anxiety thermometer, a 4. Or when she's at a particular level, that you're a 9 at the moment, or you're a 1 or 2. So you need to find out and point out to her when anxiety is on the rise. What situations occur that create that anxiety? One of the problems is that typical kids will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. She's probably got 1, 2, 9, 10. And then she does go, and quite an explosive. It's then looking through other strategies are thought blockers, because one of her risks is anxious thoughts will intrude on what she's doing. And that's why some of the kids enjoy the special interest, because it's a thought blocker for anxiety. So sometimes she needs a thought blocker type activity that reduces the anxiety. And to be honest, I would see anxiety management as more important than her mathematics skills, her English skills, etc. Because this is what's going to be important for her life. Okay? So I'd say she needs a major project on that. Sometimes psychologists can do that, sometimes OTs, sometimes speech pathologists, because it's the communication of emotions. Clearly, your medication, you're doing right, okay, but it's not enough.
Because their safety was at risk so much.
Yeah.
That's what the PED had to do, because she'd even abscond from the PED's office, even from a moving car. My husband, you had to get in the back and hold her down while we were driving.
Yeah.
It's just those extremes. I've got an 18-month-old toddler, but while she was a baby, I would have to carry her in a baby carrier. We were here last year with her in a baby carrier, because I couldn't take a pram anywhere, because Michaela would run. What am I going to do with a baby in a pram? I can't run with the pram.
Yeah,
so they're the extremes we had to go to, and it just seems she's that sense of safety. She also is very primal when she has these meltdowns. She will bark or snarl at other children, especially.
So she really regresses.
She really regresses to the point where she's absconded naked and then defecated in our neighbour's backyard.
Wow.
Yeah. And we've tried to make modifications at home, and we feel like we're locking up everything. It's so hard, to make sure she's 8 and she's so strong. She can climb a 1.8 metre fence without the middle rail, just up and over.
Okay, I would recommend my colleague Danuta Bulak-Patterson, who's based in Melbourne.
Ivana's just moved down, who used to work with her.
Ah, Ivana,
so
is she here? Okay.
I've just had a conversation with her, and I'm trying to get her to see Michaela.
Good. Ivana knows what she's talking about. So you need someone who is experienced in high levels of anxiety in girls with ASD. And so you need someone to go through the strategies, because otherwise you've reached the limits of medication. And if that's not working, you need other things, and you need an exit strategy for that. One of the things that I do find, though, if you're not careful, is the kids learn avoidance strategies or control strategies that they become what I call domestic terrorist in terms of controlling the family, of they become intoxicated with their power of where we go, how long we stay, etc. So that can be a problem. So they can become oppositional and defiant and controlling. Yeah.
We've made progress with that. We can compromise quite well. We've got her to change her situation, change her day around. She's had some success after meltdowns at school, gone back into school and had a successful day. We just can't seem to stop it.
Okay, what Ivana may be doing is going through what are the major stresses in her life, and at various times in the day, she has ways of releasing the tension or whatever it is, so that she doesn't reach that tipping point of, I've got to panic, I just got to get out of here, when accidents will occur. The major risk in mortality for ASD is accidents. Road traffic accidents in particular, of running in front of vehicles, and that's it, you know that. So that's what needs to be looked at. But I'm glad Ivana is there. Okay.